So as we get started today, this video is divided into chapters. If you want to skip at any point, just look at the sliding bar underneath the plating window and you can see the chapters to skip ahead. Welcome back to the Crochet Chronicles, my friends, over yarnspirations.com. Moving along in our Sampler Afghan, we're moving to the next square of this and we are working through this slowly as we're doing the squares in between the other stuff that I have to get done. So today we're moving on to page number 4. Remember, we have to create 3 of each of the samples and we're going to do the puff stitch bands motif, and this is actually relatively easy when you look at it from this perspective. So the repeating is actually looking like it's in rows like this, and it's actually pretty easy. So let's begin and we're going to start our journey. And we also have the stitch counts available if you'd like to change the size of this. And if you want to take a screenshot now, because I have just hand drew the diagram, just the repeating itself. This is not the complete one across, but this is the structure and I do this for myself. So if you'd like to change the size, it's multiples of 6 plus 2 in order to make that work. So you can freeze the screen and study this if you wish, and this is kind of what it's gonna look like. So let's begin our journey of starting this one. You'll need a 5mm size H crochet hook and whatever yarn you've decided to use for this. I'm gonna be using Red Heart with Love for this particular square. So let's get started today. You need to just chain 26 if you'd like to change the size. As I mentioned, it's multiples of 6 plus 2, so you go 6 6 6 6 6, and when you're satisfied with the width of it, add 2 more chains and you'll have the balance to be able to change the size. So if we're doing the square, it's just chaining 26, so 1 2 3 4 5 and go all the way to 26 and meet me back here in just a moment. So let's begin our first row. Second chain from the hook, so just count it back to the second one. There's 1 and there's 2. Turn it over and get the back hump of the second chain. That's my own preference, and I want you to single crochet in that one and continue along your chain by single crocheting in the back hump of each of the chains going all the way across. You will have a total count of 25 single crochets when you get across there. So please do that, and I'll be back and we'll start row number 2 in a moment. Coming up all the way to the end of number 1, turn your work and let's begin. Let's begin row number 2. Rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the repeat for this whole square. So every time those are the set that you'll need to do. So we're going to start with row number 2 and you're going to chain 3 and you are going to apply 1 double crochet into every stitch across, starting with the next stitch. So it says skip the first stitch. That's just a stitch where the chain 3 is coming out of. So you'll still have 25 double crochets when you get all the way across. So please do row number 2. I'll be right back in a moment. I'm coming up to the end of row number 2 and it's just double crochets all the way across, and then the next row that we're about to do is gonna be a little bit fun. Well, a lot of fun. And let's turn our work and begin row number 3. So row number 3, there's strategy here. In order to skip so many stitches, do your puff stitch and your single crochet. So let's just begin and go nice and slow. So we're gonna start off and you're gonna chain up 1 and you'll do 1 single crochet in the first. And now you'll chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and only skip the next 2 next 2 stitches. In the third stitch away, you want to apply a puff stitch. So a puff stitch is that we're going to wrap the hook and going into that third away stitch, going in, pull through and hold. So you got 3 loops in the hook. So do that again. So wrap and into the same stitch, pull through and hold. You now have 5 loops on the hook, and wrap again, going in and pull through, and now you have the 7 loops on the hook that it suggests. So what it's telling us to do is it says pull through all 7 loops on the hook. So you're gonna pull through all 7 loops, but you're not finished with that yet. You are going to chain 1 to lock it. So that chain 1 does not count as an additional stitch, so don't think that it is. So now you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and skip the next 2 and single crochet the third one away. And we're gonna repeat this all the way across. So let's start again. So chain 3 and then skip 2, go to the third and make a puff stitch. So wrap and in, pull through, wrap and in, pull through, and wrap and in, pull through all of the 7 loops and chain 1 to lock it, and then chain 3 to move on, and skip 2, single crochet. Okay, Okay, so I'm gonna be quiet for the rest of the row so you can get it. So 1, 2, 3. So eventually you're gonna come close to the end, so you'll chain 3 after you've got that last puff in and skipping 2, and you'll go into the turning chain to do a single crochet. And that was row number 3. So a lot of words for something that's actually relatively simple. So you turn your work and let's do row number 4. So don't get hung up on number 4 on the way that this thing starts. You're gonna chain 4. The first 3, let's just do it. So 1, 2, 3. That's your double crochet, and the fourth one is a chain 1 space. So don't forget that, please. What I need you to do then is just to reach on over to the top of this puff stitch. It's actually right there. I'm just gonna grab another pencil here so that I can point it out. That's the puff stitch right here. So make sure that's where you go, and you're going to put in 3 single crochets there. So 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and reach all the way over to the next puff stitch and put in 3 single crochets. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So this is what's lifting it up to create that space, and then chain 3 and reach all the way to the next puff and put in 3 single crochets, and we're going to do this across. And 1, 2, 3, next puff. So we're coming up close to the other side already. This is a really quick row, and once you get that last one in, you're going to chain 1 and you were going to put in a double crochet into the first single crochet right here, or to the last single crochet that's there. And so then that's what it will look like, and that was row number 4. Now we're gonna turn and do number 5, which is the ending of the repeat. So let's do number 5. Number 5 is easy to remember. We know that this is a chain 1 space, so that's gotta be a 1 single crochet. We know that these are chain 3 spaces, so those are gonna be 3 single crochets. So don't forget that, please. So when we go and start, we're going to chain 1 and you'll single crochet in the beginning, double crochet that we did. You got one chain 1 space here, so that's just gonna be 1 single crochet, and then we have 3 single crochets here, so just give them 1 each. What this is doing is it's putting us back into balance count wise. So now we have the chain 3 space, so put in 3 single crochets around the space, and then we have the 3 singles, so 1 in each. Then you got the chain 3 space, so 3 single crochets in the space. You have the 3 single crochets, so 1 in each. The chain 3 spaces here, so 3 single crochets in the space. And then we have the 3 singles, so 1 in each. And remember at the end this was a chain 4, so you got 1 in the space, and then the third chain up, so 1, 2, 3 is the last single crochet, and that will bring it back to balance. So what you have to do is repeat the set of instructions a set number of times, and let's go over that next. So now that we've gone through from 2 through 5, you now know the repeat. So you're going to repeat rows number 2, which is the double crochet, all the way to 5, which is where we just finished. So we'll do 2 through 5 3 more times, and then what you're going to do is that once you have that done 3 times, you'll then do the second row just once more, and that's where you're gonna fasten off, and then you can apply your border. So we do have the border recorded as a separate video, and just get all that done and apply your border, and then you're good. You just need to make 3 of these to continue on with this particular project, and I'll see you next time as we work on the cable bands motif in the future video. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.